What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Infinity Gaming Podcast. Welcome. We have a epic fire show today. We have literally one of the biggest podcasts so far in the series. And we are jam-packed with great information. I have been putting this episode together for you guys. Hopefully you've been following me over on Twitter at Sean Mary NJ. I've been keeping you guys up to date with the delay. I mean, it's not that it's really on a set schedule, but I did want this episode out sooner. But it's springtime. It's getting crazy. And there's a lot going on here at the Mary NJ08 Castle and Mary NJ08 Studios. Doing a lot of stuff here. Madness. In and out of town. Recording, business, planting, gardening, family, friends, photography, and doing stuff behind the scenes, right? And doing a lot of Twitch, doing a lot of streaming. One of my goals this year was to do more gaming on stream, and I have been doing that. We have so much coming with the new games. These April and May and June is like fire with games. So check the release dates. We'll go over some of them here on the show. We have a jam-packed show. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Hopefully you stick with me. I think you should. Follow me at Twitter at Sean Mary NJ. Follow me on Twitch for gameplay. Twitch.tv/MaryNJ08. Thank you to my affiliates. Thank you to my sponsors. Please check the links below. They help everybody out. We got big giveaways coming. My buddies over at DoorDash, my buddies over at HelloFresh. Thinking about VR? Get yourself an Oculus Quest 2. $30 instantly to spend in the store. No extra money for you. We both make out. 30 for you, 30 for me. So let's get right into it. Right up to the minute I started recording this, I stuck in whatever the latest news was. I tried to jam-pack this as much as I could before even getting ready to work on episode 4. You know how it is. Stuff comes in every day now. It seems to be a really gaming marathon as far as news. Let's talk about Redfall. Redfall's coming out soon. I am looking forward to that. I guess word on the street is people are upset because it's only 30 frames per second. And people have been saying, and they know I wait now for the show. Oh, one more thing. I am bringing back the Gaming Chit Chat show. I'll just be doing it in between to cover some things. I figure, I was going to retire it, but people like that show. And I do get guests on there. And Murray Chat, as always. So I'll be saving most of the big news articles for this show, instead of talking about them twice. And people have been asking me, well, we can't wait for you to talk about Redfall. What is, instead of reporting the news, because the news is Redfall is coming in at only 30 frames per second. It's only got like a performance mode or whatever, priority mode, whatever they call it. So they said, Sean, we want you to talk about it. Well, here's my opinion on that. I don't see what the big deal is, okay? Now, they said the 60 frames per second is coming, all right? Now, we know about games releasing broken or whatever, and stuff is planned for the future. That's what gaming is now. It's a shame that it's come to that. It's lazy, but that's what it is. But as far as not playing it because it's only 30 frames per second, are you in a tournament? Are you getting paid to, like, speed run? What is stopping you from playing a game like Redfall at 30 frames per second? It's not like Street Fighter and you're in a tournament and that last second window or latency is stopping you from winning a tournament. It's Redfall. Why is that? How is that stopping your whole experience? So say the game comes out, say it's great, say it's good. Say that the game runs at 30 frames per second straight through, But say the game comes out really good. It's going to be horrible on your review scale because it came out only 30 frames per second. Half the games we play that even say they're 60 can't even play at 60. All right, look at all the PC games that get released broken. I could go down a list. It would take me this whole episode to get halfway through the list. So, I don't know. I mean, I understand people are upset. Like, I could see a response like, oh, Redfall. Yeah, that sucks. Can't wait for that 60 frames per second patch, but I'll play it in the meantime. That's fine. No, I'm not playing Redfall at all. It's broken. 30 frames per second. No, done. And by the time the 60 frames per second patch comes out, I won't want to play it no more. What the fuck? Like, are you nuts? What happened to people gaming? And you know what it is? It's a mob mentality. It's a trend. It's because it's follow the leader. It's like, I remember when ray tracing was first came out and the word first started circulating. Well, if this game doesn't have ray tracing, I don't want to play it. Even though yesterday I didn't even know the word existed, and I don't really know what it even means, but it sounds cool. And I don't want to play this because ray tracing isn't in the game, and I want to be cool like everyone else. That's what this is like to me. Like, oh, it's not 60 frames per second? Blech. Pretty soon they're going to be saying that about 60 frames per second if it's not 120 frames per second. See, it's not going to stop. It's stupid. It's dumb. I'll be playing it, and it looks good. PSVR 2 now reporting good sales. Yeah, somebody sent me this article. I don't have the article in front of me, but basically you heard all this stuff about the PlayStation VR 2 sales were low, quote unquote low. And then now you see these articles like, well, it's not actually that bad. It's actually pretty good. First of all, VR is always going to be a niche thing, okay? It's always going to be a secondary, third type gaming technology. You're never going to get rid of the regular. My friend on Twitter calls it flat gaming. You're never going to get rid of that as the standard. VR is always going to be a niche way of playing games, but it doesn't mean it can't be successful. And it doesn't mean it's not good. PSVR, it had its problems and it had its flaws, and it's still, it's still lacking in the game library category, but it's still very young in its life. But I'm not going to dwell on it in this episode. We'll have to maybe have a VR episode. But now I'm hearing, oh, well, it's actually pretty good technically. It's like, let's just flip-flop. We can't decide what we want to say, so, well, it's good, but it's not good. It's round, but it's square. It's cold, but it's hot. So, but yeah, it's VR. I mean, it's never going to be like number one. Like you're going to quit all your other gaming and only game in VR. And supposedly there's going to be a lot of VR competition and headsets out this year. So somebody's going to be into it, and Apple's doing their thing. There's going to be a MetaQuest 3. I love my MetaQuest. I love my PSVR 1. I love my PSVR 2. I love the games that are out for it. It's a fun thing. It's not going to take over. It's not like I'm stopping playing this. I'm not going to play this I can't do gaming without a headset. No, that's never going to happen. Look at my guy in the corner there. Oh, that's Wario. Look at my guy in the corner there. He's got his headset on. He's ready to rock. We'll follow up on this in a future episode, and we'll check the sales and whatever. We'll check the Benji sales. Remember Benji the dog? I used to watch that shit. That and Lassie. And the Waltons. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that John boy, son. And back on like the Redfall, now I'm hearing Ghostwire Tokyo running like poo-poo on Xbox. Boy. Well, that's not going to affect me any. I got Ghostwire on PlayStation 5. I was going to get it on PC to play on the Steam Deck. I'll wait for a sale or something, but expect a stream on Twitch soon, actually, of Ghostwire. But yeah, if you've been playing it on the Xbox, what do you think? Oh, man. DSP, Hobos and Dogs scenario chaos. Have you heard about this one? Our buddy Darkside Philip. Oh, Philip. So he listen to this, okay? Listen. He's been using Hobos and Dogs for a long time. And I said at the very beginning, Phil, one day you're going to regret this. This happens to you all the time. Of course, he doesn't listen. He kept playing Hobos and Dogs, and now it bit him in the ass. Now it's Hobos and Frauds. And, you know, he got in pretty big trouble with the copyright BS. Now, admittedly, it's... It is, you know, for his... For his defense, okay, YouTube is broken when it comes to shit like that. It's a bunch of BS, and it's act now, investigate later. But if you know this shit keeps happening, why repeat the process? Why would you put this... Don't you just love spam? Oh, your carburetor's in. Oh, your insurance is up. And don't you know your insurance is up on your 80-something Impala? So, if you know that this is going to happen to you, why get yourself into this big mess? And Phil keeps doing it. And it's happened recently with Hobos and Dogs. And that Darksea song. He says it doesn't sound anything like Slim Shady. Dude. It's like Vanilla Ice when he was going, it's not the same beat. It's da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. Come on, dude. Give it up already, all right? So that's a story with Hobos and Dogs, if you didn't know. I had to fit that in there. Proton 8.0 is out for the Steam Deck. That's the native Proton. I have been testing it. It's very good. I'm going to be having a Steam Deck special on the Infinity Gaming podcast. I might as well talk about it now. I'm going to be having theme-related episodes coming up. So we're going to do a Steam Deck. We're going to do a VR. And we're going to do a retro episode. I might do the retro one first. Maybe for episode 4, not sure. Like, I'll talk about some gaming topics in the news, but we'll do a theme. So retro gaming. Another thing I want to announce here that I'm going to be doing in the future, aside from the Infinity Gaming podcast, is a streaming marathon over on Twitch of playing old school games. And what I'd like to do, admittedly, I'd like to set up something on the Steam Deck through desktop mode, through OBS, kind of like I do on here, and set up gameplay of old PC games of like when I was growing up, and do like a marathon, Alone in the Dark, Myst, Monkey Island, Police Quest, King's Quest, Hexen, Doom, shit like that. And I think that would be kind of cool. And maybe do it for the summer. Maybe be, you know, the summer I usually do the summer of retro. Maybe this year I'll do the summer of throwback PC gaming. And we'll hook up the Steam Deck through OBS. I'm going to look into it. I've messed around with it a little bit, but I'll do some testing. And once I get it down, we're going to do that. And I think that'll be fun. And then what I'll do is I'll go on Twitter at Sean Murray NJ, and I'll put up some polls of what games you guys want. And I'll have you guys vote. Like Myst, Doom, Hexen, Quake, Monkey Island. I don't know if I'm going to complete them, but we'll play them. We'll start them at least. And we'll kind of maybe dive in and out of each during a stream. Police Quest, Leisure Suit Larry. That'll go over well. Phantasmagoria. What did I just get? Alone in the Dark. I got the whole collection. It was on sale. So, something to think about. I'll announce it officially over on Twitter. And check out my community posts on YouTube as well. All right. My channel update as far as Murray ranks it, the tier list maker series. Yeah. Have you guys been checking that out? We got lots more coming. It's a fun series. I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to mess with tier list maker, and now we have a series dedicated to it. And that's another series that I'm going to have you guys start voting for on Twitter. So again, if you're not following me on there, you definitely should, because it's a great place to get interaction with you guys. Again, I want to interact more with my subs and viewers. I figure that you guys can interact with me over on the tweet, the Elon Musk social space, and we can vote on what topic is going to be on Murray Ranks It with the tier list maker. So just so you guys know, I'm thinking of another video game related one, possibly a food related one, and a movie related one. I haven't decided which one is going to make episode 3, I believe. Yeah. So that should be coming soon. I'd like to start recording that very soon. Also, the return of Sean Checks It Out. We got big giveaways on the way. I got 5 planned. So those of you that are actually watching this podcast, big giveaway, as Ian would say from Pat the NES Punk, big. Alrighty. Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon 3 leaked, and it is now in development. So that's pretty cool. Everybody's talking about Burning Shores. Very cool. Very awesome. Aloy, awesome character, awesome series. I will be streaming a lot more of that. I'm playing Call of the Mountain on the PSVR 2. That was weird. I just had a whole mess of emails come in. It's like a batch. You ever have that? Yeah, so Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon 3 in development. Very cool. Very cool. Burning Shores is getting a lot of positive feedback. Some are saying some of the greatest graphics ever to grace video gaming. That's exciting. Now, I watched my friend Harvey Barlow play with it, and previous winner, and Harvey said, "Yeah, I can't disagree." And I was comparing it with Resident Evil 4 Remake. Some were saying Red Dead Redemption 2. Man. So many good ones. Forza Horizon 5, which is technically, in my opinion, a masterpiece. Gears 5. Yeah. Now that I think about it, even Final Fantasy VII Remake is a beauty. Wow. Demon Souls, the remake. Yeah, so very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Did you hear about the Steam Coder story? So there is so there was a developer, a Steam Coder, that never touched a piece of code in his life. 3 years later, he gets his game on the cover of Steam. Big props, bro. I did game development for years, and in college, I used a program called Maya, Blender, 3D Studio Max. That's awesome. I'm going to get in contact with him and have him actually on the channel. Segue, I'm working with a lot of guests. To be here on the show. Nothing announced yet. My close friends know. Some of them know of some of them. But yeah, working a lot with some guests for the Infinity Gaming Podcast. I'm going to move them all pretty much here. Unless it's like, music related. I have talking tunes. But everything else, I had them scattered. I had some on the retro shows. I had some on the gaming chit chat. They're all going to come here now. This is going to be the place where the guests come. But I'd like to get him on. That'd be pretty cool. I'm going to look into that. Very cool, actually. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. This was actually one of the last things I wrote on my notes. So, Star Wars, Jedi Survivor. It'll be featured here on Mary and J. Wade. Getting praise, right? The first one, Fallen Order, loved it. I read this article. Now, somebody had sent it to me, but I had seen it already. And I honestly thought it was a joke. Then I looked at the source and I said, oh crap, it's real. The option to toggle spiders on and off. But what really got me, what really made me sad was the comments. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God it's going to have that. Because just like the 30 frames and 60 frames per second, we really needed that. And I'm not going to play a game again unless it's got the spider toggle. Are you fucking kidding me? What's happening to us? What's happening to gamers, but what's happening to humanity? Have you put the fucking news on lately? Our best bet is to wait for a meteorite at this point. Imagine if aliens came down and they wanted to, sample us. They'd be flying that spaceship up so fast, be like, look at these retards. I'm getting out of here. I'd rather deal with cavemen. A spider toggle. Are you fucking kidding? You should be ashamed of yourself. It's a fake digital pixel. So what did you do all those other years? Did you ever hear the game Black Widow? What do you think Atari did? Maybe Atari should have this mode. Maybe Resident Evil should have this mode. That's all I'm going to say about this. It's disgusting. How dumb. All right. My radio show is coming back on AMP. I want to plug myself. Gratuitous plug, I call it. I get excited when I talk about my AMP show. My AMP show rocks. I had some of the best DJs in the world tell me, man, I had some musicians that follow me on Twitter from some big name bands said, bro, you are good. I'm over on AMP, which is owned by Amazon, but I'm on Spotify. I broadcast over on iHeart. We're spread all over. I have a metal headbanger show. I have a rock show. I have a classic rock show. I have an easy listening show. I have a rap and hip hop show. I'm going to be starting a country show. We have live callers. We have live requests. We have shout outs. We have news articles. We have information. We have tour dates and concerts. We have little fun facts. It's cool, man. It's awesome. I'll be putting out links when I go live. I used to do it here on YouTube on Murray and Jay Waite, but because YouTube is a horrible, horrible place, I was getting struck and copyrighted and muted, and I don't need that abuse. So I got my own full-time radio station. It's set up. I did it all last year, all summer. I took a break. I'm coming back. We're going to play the newest stuff, the newest releases, oldies, anything you want. We're going to open them up for requests. I'm going to have my top favorites. I'm going to have my favorite metal, favorite rock, my personal playlist, and then we're going to open it up for requests and shout outs. That's over on AMP Radio. So I'll tweet it, and I'll also put it in the community tab. So wait for that. I'm going to be getting that started very soon, starting the month of May all the way through the summer. Okay? Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. There's a new mode in the Division 2. So the Division 2 got some updates. Love the Division 2. I'm going to be getting that soon. Street Fighter 6 is coming close to release. They had a Street Fighter 6 showcase, which I covered, and the demo came out. I covered that. I streamed it for a few days, and I also archived it, recorded it in HD, and uploaded it right here to the YouTube channel. You can go check it out, parts 1 and 2. Some of the tutorials, some of the CPU matches, and some of the story mode that was highlighted during the showcase. And somebody DM'd me and said, we would love to have your impressions on the Street Fighter 6 demo. I really enjoyed it. Now, somebody was just recently talking about frame drops on the PlayStation 5. Not sure, but I think that has to do with it was locked, I believe. You didn't have the option to switch it through priority and performance mode like you will in the retail. So whatever they had it locked in, that could have been the reason. But I didn't have a problem. I'm not one of those pixel peepers and nitpickers when it comes to that. I'm not in the competitive scene anymore like I used to be. I just play it for chill and to enjoy the game, mostly for single player. And I'll do an occasional online matches. I really thought the story mode is pretty neat. I'm interested to see where that goes. I like that whole, Luke takes you all over and you got to talk to people, and kind of neat, kind of different for Street Fighter. I like that Capcom is trying. I like that they're working on putting out a full product. They learned a lot from Street Fighter 5. Not extremely excited. I don't have a problem with the roster, with the day one roster. Just a little bit underwhelmed with the season 1 roster. I thought maybe, they could have spiced it up a bit. Already interested to see who's going to be in season 2. I know that's not going to be for a while. But I'm happy, I hope a lot of my favorites make it. My girl Cammy's in it. So, not too bad. I'm happy about that. Ryu. Oh my God, my favorites are pretty much in it, except for a few. Yeah, I thought it felt good. I thought the mechanics were good. I thought the game felt, good. I'm going to be cooking up my arcade stick to the final release. I am going to be getting it both on the PlayStation 5 and the Steam Deck on PC, which I'm actually going to be checking the demo out on the Steam Deck. Look for impressions on that. Maybe I'll put that in like a gaming chit-chat show or Murray Chat or something. So look forward to those impressions. Yeah. Can't wait for the release, basically. I was impressed by the showcase. I was impressed by the demo. I've been following it since it was announced, and I think it's time. I'm ready for the game. I'm ready for the full game to come out. All right, we got some viewer questions. Lucius, recommendations to start streaming and local recording gameplay for a YouTube channel. Been there, done that, buddy. Man. I'll tell you what, Lucius, if you're on Twitter at Sean Murray NJ, hit me up. I'll give you some actual decent specs from OBS. OBS is an option. XSplit is an option. I would go with OBS. It's free, or Streamlabs. It depends on your internet. You know, don't kill your internet with the bit rate. Have a decent bit rate. Get like an average. Local recording, it doesn't matter. Go all out. I like to have a nice, crisp local recording for when I'm recording for YouTube. Aside from Twitch, you could also, if you have a decent enough CPU, you could have simultaneously, you could do streaming and local recording at once with 2 separate settings. So that's what's nice about that. Yeah. I mean, you know, set up different scenes. Once you get fancy and schmancy, I would go get a Stream Deck, not a Steam Deck. You could get one of them. A Stream Deck, where you could set up different tabs to switch from, like full screen, mic on and off. It works great with OBS. You could use it with pretty much any streaming service. You could even have links attached. You could put custom icons. You could get like different levels of stream decks, depending on how much money you want to spend. You can get a real big one. You don't need that. What I think the smallest is like a 6 button one. And you're good to go. Get a decent mic, a decent camera, and have a nice personality. And you know, you can worry about green screen and all that fancy stuff later. Yeah, let me know. Hook up with me. I'll tell you what I can tell you. Been there, done that. I used to start with a actual camcorder back in the day until direct capture took over my life, and I was doing it for years. You could check out my playlists on YouTube here. And, you know, it's fun. And, you know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot you can learn. Some of the biggest, you know, streamers still learn today. You know, it's a never-ending knowledge, basically. And technology changes, let's be honest. Technology changes, it gets better, and you have to adapt. Software changes, you know. Settings can change, internet speeds. You know, we just increased ours here. I just upgraded and updated ours. And I'm able to have a better bandwidth. So that affects streaming, you know, and uploading and downloading and what you could output to make your streams look better, right? Thank you for the question. Another question. My recommendations for new deck owners. What? This is from, who's this from? This is from Michael. As far as what, games or, well, I'll do everything. Yeah. A decent SD card. I'd get like a 512. You'd be surprised at the prices on Amazon for a nice, decent SD card. I'd stick one of them in. I'd get some thumb grips. I'd get a nice, decent case. Maybe a screen protector. And hit those Steam sales up. Hit those Steam sales up. Never pay full price, because whatever you want to buy is eventually going to go on sale. If it's a new game, you might have to wait a little longer, but eventually it's going to go on sale, right? Now, what I do is I set up a wish list. Whatever you're thinking, put it in a wish list, and you'll get notified by the Steam app on your phone that something's on sale. That's the problem I have. It'll tell you, Hey, get on here. Get the wallet out. And the sale will come up on your phone and it'll tell you what to buy. And you wouldn't believe some of the sales. And Steam's always making an excuse for a sale. You know, it's not just holidays. They have humble bundles. There's great, great stuff. And, you know, back in the day, I used to tell people, make sure it's verified, meaning it has the green check mark and it passed all the Steam evaluations of how it runs on the Steam Deck. Really, that doesn't even matter these days because now you have what's called Glorious Egg Roll. It's a thing, Proton GE, where they make a version of Proton that's actually almost like Windows, and it'll run non-Steam games, and it runs them really good. And it has Proton GE. It's got Proton Experimental, which is like a future version of what Proton GE will be. They've just updated native Proton to Proton 8. And, I mean, there's thousands of games between Verified and Proton GE that run great on Steam Deck. Turn your Steam Deck into a full functional PC. You could get great deals on monitors. I got a really nice curved 4K monitor. Nice keyboard and mouse. You could get docks. You could use it like a Switch and hook it up HDMI to your television. Get a nice wireless controller. The Steam Deck is a pretty powerful piece of tech, and it's only getting better. And that's some recommendations. Again, hit me up. I could tell you whatever. Some games that are great to start off with, I always tell people this, is the Aperture Desk Job, which is kind of like an introduction to the Steam Deck. It shows you the different functionalities, the different buttons, the touchpads. Start with that. Go on the verified page. Check out what's trending. Vampire Survivors. I just got DLC for Vampire Survivors, believe it or not. Can it play Crysis? Yeah. So there you go. You can play Xbox games on it. You can play PlayStation. It's a freaking beast. Oh, I didn't even get into this. Emulation, ROMs. It's the best on the market. I have them all. I have every form of emulation and ROM device. I buy them all. This is the king. This is the king, baby. Right up there with the Evercade. This is a nice little ROM emulation device. I put up there with the Raspberry Pi. Games are coming to Mac. I just read an article about new games are finally coming to Mac that haven't been on Mac before. So that's good for people that just play on Mac. I used to actually have Steam on my iMac years ago. The games were limited then, but I had it, and I had a decent iMac. I had a 27-inch for its time. It was had like 16 gigs of RAM because I did a lot of Photoshop and Adobe Premiere and some high-end games, or high-end at the time. All right, so we got a couple big stories that I left for the end here, but before we get into them, because they're the three biggest, and if you've been following the gaming news, you probably know what they are. But let's get into this question here. Games of the year picked so far for you, Sean, by Carl. Yeah. So as you know, at the end of the year, I pick, I'm going to run these through my head. I don't have a list, but I'm getting the next article ready. As you know, at the end of the year, I have the year-end gaming series, and I do Game of the Year. And it's very important to me because I play a lot of games. I play pretty much everything that comes out, indie, AAA, all platform. And what I do is I take a look and I rate them, and I usually do 10 to 15. And then I pick a winner. Number one, Game of the Year. So what are we in now? End of April? Yeah. it's been a crazy year. Now, the thing is, we're getting ready for a big bump. We're getting ready for a bunch of big games coming out one by one. May and June is going to be huge. And it's usually a dead time of year. But now we're getting into some big releases. Let's face it. Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Redfall, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I could keep going on and on. There's some big indies, too, that I'm looking forward to that have been on my radar. So we're really, really coming into the boom, I call it. The unusual boom. But so far, I would say, I'm not going to tell you my game of the year right now, because I don't want no spoilers, and it's going to change, and there's a lot more coming. And when I do this in December, it's going to be a whole different ball game. But I'll tell you right now what's running up against each other. Hogwarts Legacy and Resident Evil 4 HD remake. A Resident Evil 4 remake. Which I didn't really think it was going to be. Wow. And they're neck and neck because I'm loving both. These games are unreal. Oh, and Hi-Fi Rush is up there. Hi-Fi Rush is a really good game. I've been playing that on the Steam Deck. It is out for Xbox. So that's what's really getting my attention right now. But again, we're coming up against a lot of games that are going to be really changing Game of the Year and could be some big contenders coming up. Don't forget, then we're going to have Starfield and who knows what else. Hopefully Mortal Kombat 12 gets announced. I could go on and on. UK regulator, the CMA, the Competitive and Markets Authority, blocks. I used to have an uncle. It's blocked. Sean, it's blocked. What am I going to do? It's blocked. They blocked it. Blocks the $68.7 billion Microsoft Activision deal. Dreamcast Lie is very excited and happy. All right, so yeah, they blocked it. Despite recent signs that it was softening its stance on Microsoft's proposed $68.7 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, the CMA's antitrust regulator has announced that it has decided to formally block the deal. The CMA said its decision was motivated by concerns about the deal's effect on the future of the nascent cloud gaming market, where Microsoft is a key player. It feared the deal would lead to reduced innovation and less choice. So here's the deal, right? By the way, I'm going to read you something that Phil Spencer just tweeted, and he said it's not a closed deal. You think Microsoft's going to let up with all their money and lawyers? First of all, let me just read this first from Phil Spencer. We are, and I talked to him too, we are full speed ahead in our mission to bring players more ways to play their favorite games. All right, Brad Smith. Microsoft and European cloud gaming platform Enware have signed a 10-year agreement. Our statement here. Microsoft and European cloud gaming platform Enware have signed a 10-year agreement to stream PC games built by Xbox on its platform, as well as Activision Blizzard titles after the acquisition closes. While it's still early for the emerging cloud segment in gaming, the new partnership, combined with our other recent commitments, will make more popular games available on more cloud game streaming services than they are today. Here's the thing in a nutshell that I feel interested about, or that it is interesting, is that of all this, right? It comes because for a while everything was getting ready to be closed, like seal the deal, like Volbeat, And Phil Spencer was really confident because everything checked. What's interesting is it all comes down to, and their excuse is cloud gaming. Did anybody think or expect that? Cloud gaming was the reason it got rejected? Cloud gaming. And you just read that statement, so I don't know. I think there's going to be follow-ups to this. And everybody goes, oh, well, you got to listen to Michael Pachter. Michael Pachter's always wrong. Michael Pachter gets paid for being wrong. He's a legend in his own mind. So pretty much whatever he says, actually what's good about him is whatever he says, it's the opposite. Now, yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. I thought when I first read about the block, it's blocked. Sean, what am I going to do? It's blocked. It's blocked. I can't do nothing. It's blocked. It comes down to cloud gaming. Very interesting. We'll have another follow-up on this, probably on the next Infinity Gaming podcast. I'm going to be following this, and we'll see. I'm also talking a lot with Aaron Greenberg. All right. Have you heard about this one, the Pokemon card theft? We always got to throw in a zany, crazy one at the Infinity Gaming podcast to keep it spicy. Either that or have Scarlett Johansson on. The Pokemon card theft. Whoa. This may be the biggest Pokemon card theft in history, and it's causing drama. All right, listen, I can read this article, but basically, here's what it comes down to. Somebody went rogue that was in charge of the printing press of the Pokemon card company and printed a whole mess of rares and took all the rares from Fusion Strike. And he took them all and he went to a card shop and sold them, tried to sell them. Red flag much? And they looked at him and they said, bruh. I mean, come on. Really? Be smart. That shit's gonna get you whacked. It certainly looks like someone might have stolen a bunch of rare Fusion Strike cards from the Pokemon card company. According to evidence surfacing from a Dallas-based trading card community, the alleged thief tried to sell them to a local card shop only to be turned over to the Pokemon card company. Yeah, stay right there. I got to make a call. Stay right there. Stay right there. Which is to be called the largest return to stolen property to date in the trading cards history. Details of the apparent heist began spilling out of the closed Pokemon World Facebook group over on Reddit over the weekend. A photo, and I retweeted this, a photo showing stacks of valuable Fusion Strike cards from full art trainers all the way up to VMAX Mews, Espeons, and Gengars, covering the table, quickly blew up. Saw this on a Facebook group. Reddit poster Guavaware wrote on April 15th, allegedly printing company worker stole hits off the line and tried to offload them to a local card shop. Hey, good luck with that. The next day, Guava Wave returned with a post of a statement from the trading card world, TCW. The card shop the alleged thief seemingly tried to sell the cards to said it had admittedly been suspicious of the haul, believing that the only way somebody could have such a concentrated number of rare cards from the one set was by making counterfeits or stealing them. When questioned, the seller apparently revealed they worked for a Pokemon card printing company says it immediately informed the Pokemon card company, which performed its own investigation and recovered all of the stolen cards. Wow, what an idiot. I mean, really? This might have been the end of the story, except that the collectors and fans have long accused Fusion Strike, a 2021, listen to this, expansion of having some of the worst pull rates in modern Pokemon card history. Some rare cards like the alternate art VMAX Muse were estimated to be up to 4 times harder to get than most sought after cards in other recent expansions. The data was anecdotal at best, but it became established wisdom among some of the community. It all came amidst in the game's post-COVID explosion, a period in which the Pokemon Company couldn't print new cards fast enough to keep up with demand. This is why, following the discovery of possible Fusion Strike mega theft, a few fans and collectors have blamed it for why the pull rates had been so bad. While there's no evidence that the stolen cards deprived some booster packs of rares they might have otherwise contained, some initial took it as a validation. The Pokemon trading company did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So they're saying around about that it didn't lead to that because there were other pretty companies that were printing them. But you know what the funny thing is? I remember, because I collect Pokemon cards and I have the thousands, and I've been told I have one of the largest collections. What's crazy is I remember now when this was now I remember when Fusion Strike was out and about. And yeah, it was a time where Pokemon cards were hard to get because of the whole COVID thing. But here's the thing that I remember. When I read this article, this struck me. Because nobody knew anything about this then. We just found this out now. That my Pokemon dealer that I deal with all the way up till today, every day, I buy massive amounts of cards from him. If you follow me on Twitter, you always know that I make hauls to him. And I make big, massive card purchases. He said to me, Sean, he does our Jersey Fair too. He said, Sean, he said, man, you got to invest in Fusion Strike. You got to buy Fusion Strike. I said, why? He goes, I don't know. He says, the rares are going up in value because they're so incredibly hard to pull. But he goes, I opened up like 50 packs last night. I didn't get one damn rare. Not one. Now, that was before anybody knew anything. Now, I'm thinking back to when he told me that, and I remember buying Fusion Strike cards, and I remember not pulling anything. And they're trying to say here, oh no, it's a coincidence. It's not because of this whole theft story. Come on. It's not because of that. Because there were millions printed a day. Dude, I remember this being a problem because I was there. I was there buying Fusion Strike. I remember I had another card dealer of mine down the street here that owns a local card shop. And he told me the same thing. He goes, hey man, he goes, have you been up on Fusion Strike? And I said, well, yeah, not anything more than usual. Like, you know, he goes, what's your pull rates been? I said, they suck. Because we would often talk about pull rates with cards. But it's interesting. Now I'm reading this article and I'm like, it had to have something to do with it, right? I just found that interesting. All right, last subject. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. I talked about this on Twitter, but I'll mention it briefly here. We'll talk about some stuff that they showed. Real quick, I am working with Epic on getting a locker bundle on the Fortnite item shop, so awesome. It's going to be the Mary NJ08 locker bundle. I'm not revealing yet what's going to be in it, but I think you guys will be quite happy. Nintendo's latest Indie World Showcase wrapped up. Here's the following. Maniko's Night Market gets a release date after 8 years of development. Wow. September 26th it'll be available, and it's also coming out on PC. And some of these I already wishlist on the Steam Deck, so I don't know. Some of them I'm going to get on Switch. My Time at Sandrock lands in summer of 2023. Played Up. Oh, I'm getting this. This game is cool. If you ever played What the freak is the name of the game? See if they talk about it here. And their early access. You know, it's a cooking game where you're timed. Cook up or whatever. My mind is a blank right now. But anyway, it's one of my favorite games. Well, this game is like it. Hold on. Overall, I thought this indie showcase was pretty good. There's actually a game, and for some reason it's not in this article. It's called Demon Skin. It looks insane. Overcooked. Yeah. So Played Up is like a version of Overcooked. Looks fun. Let's see. It's on the Steam Deck also. What else? Quilts and Cats of Calico, coming out fall of 2023. Rift of the Necro Dancer gets a new trailer. Comes out later this year. That looks really good. Animal Well confirmed for early 2024. Crime O'Clock gets a release date June 20th, 2023. Shadows Over Loathing headed to Switch later this year. Tesla Grand 2 and Tesla Grand Remastered are out now. You can get that, pick them up. Blasphemous 2, that looks really sick. Gets a first trailer and a release window. Launches this summer. Looks really good. Oxenfree 2. July 12th, with pre-orders available now. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, DLC, and more. August 2023. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Launches today. August 2023 is a game called Paper Trail. Little Kitty Big City 2024. Chances of Senar, September 5th. Escape Academy Complete Fall. Brotado 2023. And Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, August 18th. On top of these release dates, Nintendo showed DLC for several existing games, including the already announced Cult of the Lamb, Relics of the Old Faith, which will feature dozens of new items. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon will also receive a major update featuring 2 new playable characters, new challenges, and many, many hats. It will be out this spring. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Infinity Gaming Podcast. We are just about an hour in. I knew this was going to be jam-packed. I want to thank you. Hope you watched the whole thing. I know it was going to be fire. And we got lots more planned for the Infinity Gaming Podcast, including great, great guests. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'm out.